Roberts, welcome to another action-packed hour of Southeastern Championship Wrestling. And in the next hour, Al, just abundance of action coming your way with interesting videotape of a tag team tournament for the Southeastern titles.
True, and we've got a good tag match. The Shadow and Brad Armstrong against Mr. Saito and Stan Lane. It's going to be something to see. Jerry Stubb is going to be in action today.
The ladies,
a lot more.
The ladies, Candy Malloy will take on Suzette Ferrara on today's edition of Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Other tag action will have Jimmy Golden and Ron Bass in action, plus a very special demonstration that earlier today, when the studio crowd came in, we asked for volunteers. We got volunteers, and a hold that is used in pro wrestling by very few wrestlers and used effectively is a sleeper hold.
Right, Charlie, and Ken Lucas has had a lot of people ask him about that sleeper hold, so he put on a demonstration earlier, and we got a person out of the stands to come down and try the sleeper hold. It's a hold now that, you know, you don't play around with this, and Ken will point this out to you. You don't play around with it. It's a very dangerous hold if it's not administered right by the right person. As Charlie said, these are professional people doing this, and it is not something to play around with. You'll see that when we have that very interesting sleeper hold demonstration coming up.
Stand by. An action-packed hour coming your way today on Southeastern Wrestling. We'll also be having our personality profile, talking with Ron Bass and Jimmy Golden about the change in many, the structure of many items taking place and many controversies taking place in the area, with the return of Robert Fuller, now tag team partner with his brother Ron. It's all coming up in the next hour of Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Coming out to join us now, Bob Armstrong, Brad Armstrong, and the Shadow. Welcome, gentlemen. Recently, a big tournament held in the Southeastern area for those tag titles.
That's right. You know, there's been a lot of controversy around the tag titles. First, Brad and I won them, then I was injured. I couldn't defend them, and they went up for grabs in the tournaments, and everything has been confusion, but there's going to be a winner. There's been a clause added in contract. There must be a winner, and we're going to get these tag titles straightened out once and for all, Charlie, and I believe you got some film of exactly what happened here, and we might talk about it a little better. Here you can see Brad Armstrong wrestling. He's doing pretty good there and holding up his own. You can see the Snake, Don Carson, sitting over there on the side, who Conjuring Rose said was their ace in the hole. But you can see Brad, he's fighting for his life. He knows not to put those shoulders on the mat. And here he tags the Shadow, and the Shadow comes in mean in business, brother. He's knocking and bumping heads and doing it like it ought to be done, and things get out of control here. And of course, I was on the other side with my crutch. You don't see no crutch this week. I'm going to heal a lot faster than they thought. And they had things going pretty well their way. Now, in a minute, you're going to see that Randy Rose behind the referee's back there. He dumps the Shadow over the top rope. And there they start to slam Brad, but he slides behind and hooks that stretch. And Condrey used the old trick. He pulls the referee right into Brad, has him knocked down foolish for a minute. And for a minute, they forgot about Bob Armstrong sitting over there on the side, and here comes the Snake, Don Carson, loading that ever-present glove, and he's going to find a way to hit Brad. Brad's kicking and stomping at him, and I put that crutch right where it ought to be, brother. And he went right into the ring, and I came into the ring, and right here you can see all heck broke loose. Now, I got the man's hand here, and maybe I shouldn't have done what I did, but I tried my best to break every finger on his hand. Old Don Carson, you won't be seeing him much anymore unless you see him with a white cast on that hand instead of a black glove, because I worked on it good. I ground it, because what they did to me, I think they deserve it. I don't really feel bad about doing what I did. Here you can see everything got wild and woolly. Everybody was tired. It'd been one heck of a match. And right here you can see the referee. Finally, Don Carson got out of the ring. Everybody split, and it was just me, the crutch, Brad, and the Shadow left in the ring. And for a minute there, we thought he was going to give these belts away to Condrey and Rose and their third element, Carson, who was nursing his hand outside, but he changed his mind, and what he did was hold the belts up. Now, in every match, on all tournaments, everything is broken loose and gone crazy, and there's been a lot of controversy about it, but that's all got to be settled once and for all, because we're just sick and tired of it. Somebody needs to be the Southeastern Tag Team Champions, and they will very shortly, Charlie.
Within the next week, we'll have some Southeastern Tag Team title holders, and we're about ready for action in our first event of the day here on Southeastern Championship.
That's right, and Brad and the Shadow are going to show them where it's at in the first match. Go get them, boys.
A lot of action coming your way. Our first match of the day will be tag team action. Let's go to the ring for the introduction from Al Roberts.
Our first match, one fall, 10-minute time limit tag team match. A referee is Bruce Fortson. Bruce Fortson. Introducing in the corner to my left, at a combined weight of 430 pounds, the Shadow and Brad Armstrong. The Shadow and Armstrong. Their opponents at a combined weight of 465 pounds, Mr. Saito and Stan Lane. Saito and Lane.
Saito and Stan Lane. Now, here we have the Alabama State Heavyweight Champion and the United States Junior Heavyweight Champion in action against Brad Armstrong and his partner, the Shadow. Bob, two outstanding teams here in action for our first match of the day.
Exactly right, sir. And like you said, Saito being the champion, Stan being the champion, this puts Brad and the Shadow to the test, to say the least.
Collar elbow center of the ring. Saito backs the Shadow up in the ropes. Slapped by Saito, headbutt.
There's a good wrestling move, Charlie. You know, Saito is a Japanese amateur wrestler all his life and represented Japan in the Olympics, and he knows how to wrestle, and he can chop your head off, too.
Al, certainly a lot of action coming our way today on Southeastern Wrestling. Looking forward to that demonstration coming up a little later in the program. Also, a lot of great matches coming your way, and want to remind everybody the legends will be in action today on Southeastern Wrestling. But in the ring now, two of the finest tag team combinations, not only in the Southeastern area, but in the country today.
I know that Bob would like to be in that ring, but as he has said many a time, the Shadow, a very, very good tag team partner for Brad Armstrong, who is in there now. And Lane, good takedown by Lane. Two well-matched wrestlers right here, Stan Lane and Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong, very knowledgeable. Of course, he learned a lot from his dad, Bob, and a lot of that experience shows in the ring for a man of his age and the relative amount of time that he spent in the professional wrestling business. Side headlock now by Brad. Lane drops him off against the rope. Armstrong is so with Stan Lane, and Brad anticipated both. He laps him up, but no pin. Boy, with some good experience moves right there.
And the Shadow from his corner gaining the attention of Lane. Brad Armstrong comes up with the side headlock and holds on.
It's still Brad Armstrong with the advantage now. Mr. Saito leaning over, looking for a tag from Stan Lane. The Lane right now is preoccupied with exiting from this side headlock. Now he backs up and makes the tag behind the back, and Brad Armstrong very alertly. Here's the tag, and let's go so he can be ready for Mr. Saito. Big man from Japan, weighing 245 pounds. Saito on top of the count of one. Armstrong breaks out. Brad Armstrong very quick indeed. Head scissors by Armstrong, broken up very quickly by Mr. Saito. Oh, hard takedown by Saito. The leg drop.
Never ceases to amaze me, and we mentioned it numerous times on the program, how many different styles of wrestling this man Saito knows, and how quickly he can change into different styles.
We've seen it with sumo wrestling, the straight judo, karate wrestling. It's like you said, he can wrestle anything there is, and he is a definitely a excellent wrestler. We'll never take anything away from him for that.
Good arm twist by Brad Armstrong on Lane for the takedown and bars the arm.
Brad Armstrong still with the arm bar. We'll move over now to tag in the Shadow. Shadow moves in on Stan Lane with the arm bar. And they'll try to work on the left arm of Stan Lane as much as they can. Lane with a takedown, but the Shadow holds on. Still with that arm bar on the left arm of Stan Lane. Lane now looking to move closer to Saito. Does. And now it's Mr. Saito and the Shadow. There's a karate kick by Saito. Then into the knee of Stan Lane goes the Shadow. The Shadow momentarily in trouble as he gets a hard slam against the rope. There's a knee to the chest, to the chin. Saito working hard on the Shadow now. The Shadow looks stunned. Saito will slam and tags in Stan Lane. The Shadow looks like he's a little bit dazed as Stan Lane moves in now. Looks like he's going for the slam, or it's going to be a backbreaker. It is.
The backbreaker by Stan Lane on the Shadow. A hard shot from the backside. That'll jar your neck. Lane again with a hard shoulder into the back. Tags in Mr. Saito, and Saito comes back. Coming off that second rope, comes high and down hard with a chop to the midsection. The Shadow in trouble right now, a hard chop. The Shadow comes back with a hard right. Saito with a right of his own to the Shadow. And then Saito, it's a battle. The Shadow underneath, grabbing and tagging in Brad Armstrong. Armstrong comes in with a hard right, another one to an elbow to the top of the head. Pit toss takedown by Armstrong. Back to that side headlock, another takedown. Again, Saito with the hair for the escape. Brad Armstrong does not give up. Again, the takedown, and then the escape by Mr. Saito, who now has that left leg wrapped up of Brad Armstrong. The action hot and heavy, Charlie. Toe by Saito on Brad Armstrong. Tag is made with U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion Stan Lane. Lane and Brad Armstrong. Long running feud between these two over that U.S. Junior Heavyweight Championship. And they're keying on that left leg. On the left leg, Brad Armstrong. And they saw just moments ago keying on the back of Norwell Austin. It's a team of Saito and Lane working very good as partners. They are tagging in and out very effectively, and they're keeping a fresh man in the ring and keying on one position, which that's all the name of the game.
That's it. That's called watching the action, being involved in the match when you're even outside the match. And now they're 2-on-1, and the Shadow can't take much of that. He's in there now, drags off Saito, so they're paired off. Lane and Armstrong paired off with all four men are now in the ring. Armstrong up high, looking for the stretch. Wait a minute. Randy Rhodes. Bob Armstrong against him. He's in there. Now comes Jerry Stubbs. Meanwhile, the Shadow is on the floor. And in comes Dennis Godfrey. Oh, no. No, he's looking for a pile driver on the floor. He comes down.
Norvell Austin, the Shadow. Tremendous pile driver on the floor, Charlie, and the Shadow, who now you see is Norvell Austin, is hurt very badly. We'll be back with more action in just a moment.
8 p.m., a super lineup of Southeastern Championship Wrestling and a tornado death match. All four men in the ring at the same time. Death match rules. The Fuller brothers, Ron and Robert, take on Jimmy Golden and Ron Bass for the Southeastern Tag Team titles. Winners to receive the belts. Bob and Brad Armstrong take on Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose. For the Alabama State Heavyweight Championship, Mr. Saito defends his title against Ken Lucas. For the United States Junior Heavyweight Championship, champion Stan Lane defends against former title holder Jerry Stubbs, and Bearcat Brown takes on El Diablo. That's Monday night, an outstanding card of Southeastern Championship Wrestling, Boutwell Auditorium in Birmingham. Match time is 8 o'clock.
A lot of controversy over those Southeastern Tag Team titles. That will be settled this coming Monday night, Boutwell Auditorium here in Birmingham. The winners of the match to receive the titles, and there must be winners, is Randy Rose and Dennis Condrey take on the father-son wrestling team of Bob and Brad Armstrong. Let's hear the comments of the Armstrongs.
You know, a very important clause in the Southeastern Tag contract in Birmingham. It says there must be a winner. No if, and, buts, these, whereats, or wherever's. Somebody's going to get beat. Somebody's going to win those Southeastern Tag title belts. We're going to settle it all in Boutwell. And I just want to tell the little disco diaper babies that are screaming that Armstrong's coming back too soon. His leg is not ready. Well, if you're a man, you know when you're ready. So the disco babies are going to get their heinies patted right on out of Boutwell, and you're looking at the new Southeastern Tag Team champions.
The Armstrongs, Bob and Brad, and this coming Monday night in Boutwell Auditorium.
First of all, you're looking at the champions right here, the true champions, Bob Armstrong. And I'm telling you right now, disco is out, baby. It's Cotton Eye Joe and the two-step, and the two-step's going to be on your noggin and baby Brad, right, cuz?
That's exactly right. Punk rock, baby. That's what it's saying, punk rock. Let me say this to you, Bob Armstrong. I'm going to say it short and sweet and straight to the point. I'm going to try to say this where even you can understand it, Bob Armstrong. You're coming back way too soon. Way too soon. You should be off another 6 months. But one thing about it, when you come down to Boutwell on Monday night, After that match is over, nobody else is going to have to tell you to take off for 6 months. You're going to be glad to take off because you're going to have to take off, brother, because you ain't going to be able to walk out of that ring, Jack.
A lot of action coming your way. The Southeastern Tag Team titles at stake on Monday night in Baffle Auditorium. Also, Tornado Deathmatch rules. All 4 men in the ring at the same time as Ron and Robert Fuller take on Jimmy Golden and Ron Bass, plus 2 other title matches. The Alabama State Heavyweight Championship of Mr. Saito on the line against Ken Lucas. Jerry Stubbs, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, will take on the U.S. Junior Champion Stan Lane. 5 outstanding matches, 3 title matches this coming Monday night, Balfour Auditorium in Birmingham. Match time is 8 o'clock.
We've got a real good selection of flower arrangements, pictures, just lots of items. Appliances all in stock.
Southeastern Championship Wrestling coming to your hometown soon. This week, there will be an outstanding card in Fort Deposit, Alabama. The Lowndes County High School Gymnasium. That's on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. On Friday night, wrestling action in Georgiana, the South Butler Academy Football Stadium, weather permitting. In the event of rain, matches will be moved into the gym. That's Friday night in Georgiana. Before we talk to Jerry Stubbs, the former U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, who is hot on the heels of Stan Lane, let's hear the comments of the current champion.
You know, everybody knows I've got way too much class to come out here and complain. Come out here and cry about something, but you know, it's gotten to the point now, Jerry Stubbs, where I'm getting a little sick and tired of this. I represent the United States in the junior heavyweight category, my friend, which means that I weigh 225 pounds or less. And everybody can tell on the TV camera that you're at least 230 or above. You got a 38-inch waist. You're fat. You have no business wrestling me for this junior belt, and I'm getting a little sick and tired of it. I call International Sports and talk to the promotion there. I've lodged a formal complaint. It's in writing. And very, very soon you will not step in the ring against me for this junior belt. You're too heavy. You're too fat.
This time, Jerry, you're the top contender for that title.
Well, you know, he says he don't like to complain. It sounds like he's complaining to me because Stan Lane, let me tell you something. I weigh 225 pounds. That's exactly the weight limit. I can't weigh any more. And I'm coming after that belt, so you be sure and bring it. You know, I know you come in the ring and you wear your track shoes. Well, I guess I'll just have to buy me a pair of track shoes, too, because I'm coming after that belt because it belongs to me. You call me fat? I'll show you how fat I am when I step in the ring with you because I weigh 225 pounds. And when I leave the ring, I'm going to leave it with my belt, the United States Junior Heavyweight Championship.
I must say the fans are fortunate in this area to have the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion campaigning in this area and the top contender and former World Junior Heavyweight Champion, Jerry Stubbs.
Our next match, 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Introducing in the corner to my left at 225 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, Jerry Stubbs. His opponent at 220 pounds from parts unknown, the Raider.
And a newcomer, the Raider, taking on the former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion and former U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, Jerry Stubbs, one of the outstanding competitors to campaign in the Southeastern area for a long time. Good takedown. Stubbs with a quick arm drag. Another arm drag takedown by Jerry Stubbs. And we see the Raider going for those ropes. Stubbs pulls him away. Stubbs again. Keying on that left arm. Has the arm barred. And continues to apply the pressure. Referee Bruce Fortson checking with Stubbs about pulling that mask. Stubbs with the knee. And again into the shoulder. Continuing to apply their pressure to that left arm and shoulder of the Raider. One count. Stubbs takes his man. Quick takedown, 2 count. Stubbs dominating this match against the Raider. There we can see again variation of a suplex. Jerry Stubbs, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, defeating Les Thornton for that title. Raider fighting back now against Stubbs. Big reversal. Over in. There's that power slam. It's over. This match is over, and the winner from Atlanta, Georgia, Jerry Stubbs. That match going quite rapidly there. In fact, very quickly, a quick win, almost record time for Jerry Stubbs over the Raider. I tell you what, we have got some extra time in this segment of the program. If we could get our next match in the ring, we have an extra match we can put in right now with the time available, and it will be our ladies coming out for their match. A lot of action to come your way in the next hour. Still to come, personality profile. We'll also be seeing in action today Jimmy Golden and Ron Bass. Also coming up, a special demonstration of the sleeper with Ken Lucas. And we're about ready to...
something, Charlie Platt? You know something that sickens me? I'm sitting back there watching on the monitor. My girlfriend, Babette Barbella's giving me a rub down, and I'm watching Jerry Stubbs. The man's got to be at least 240-some-odd pounds. The guy's overweight. He doesn't belong to the junior category, and it sickens me. I'm out here on national TV right now to complain about it.
We need to get to the ring. We got a match scheduled here. Let's go to the ring for the introduction from Al Roberts.
All right, this match is 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Your referee for this match is Larry Brock. Larry Brock, your referee. Introducing in the corner to my left from Greenville, South Carolina, Candy Malloy. Malloy. Her opponent from Hawaii, Suzette Ferreira. Ferreira.
Suzette Ferreira taking on Candy Malloy. Stan Lane coming out momentarily. We have a match scheduled here. And
Charlie Platt, I'm most honored to have the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion on the TV show out here commentating. I realize you didn't invite me, but I invited myself because I know all the fans want to hear my expertise while we watch these two pretty girls.
Drop kick by Suzette Ferreira on Malloy, backing her opponent over in on the ropes.
Let me say one thing about these ladies while it's on my mind right now. You know, the ladies have come an awful long way in the past 10 years. The conditioning program is increased tenfold at least. The girls are out now, just like the guys are, every day jogging. They're even in the weights, pumping the heavy iron, and they're on the mat every day too. They're in good shape, and I'm really impressed to see it. Of course, they can't carry the big beefcake like the males can. They're not as strong, not as fast, but it's enjoyable for me to come out here and see two good-looking girls that I know either one of them will give their right arm to take me home.
Candy Malloy taking Suzette for another good takedown.
Speaking of two people in shape like these ladies are right now, it's obvious they work out, but it brings to mind someone who is obviously not in shape. And I'm speaking, ladies and gentlemen, about Jerry Stubbs. The man apparently must be sitting every night swilling beer. The guy's got a beer belly, must have at least a 40-inch waist, and he's out here trying to tell the people that he's 225 pounds. Well, I say baloney, brother. There's no way the guy weighs that little. He's fat, he's out of shape, and he's trying to wrestle the junior heavyweight category, and I'm having to sacrifice about 18 or 25 pounds when I get in the ring with him. I don't like it.
Suzette Ferreira tying up Candy Malloy right now. The comments you're hearing of the uninvited ones of Stan Lane, the U.S. Junior Champion.
What you're seeing right now, Charlie Platt, is called a front chancery or front face lock. What it does, it compresses the head down towards the chest, which cuts off the air supply to the lungs. If that hold is held for like more than 30 seconds, a person can go out from that.
on by Candy Malloy, and again.
Very nice monkey flip, Charlie Platt. I'm impressed. I have to say I'm impressed. Although I fill a girl's places in a disco dancing with me, waiting in line to dance with me, or in a kitchen or somewhere else, seeing the girls in the ring is not all that bad.
Hard right by Suzette Pereira. Takes Malloy into those turnbuckles, putting that shoulder in.
You know, Charlie Platt, regardless of how a female trains anatomically and biologically, their bodies are just not suited the way males are. Developing the big muscles that are needed for strength purposes in wrestling. Their bodies remind me of Jerry Stubbs, fat, pudgy, overweight, and soft.
We've got a winner, Candy Malloy, and more action to come today on Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Our personality profile with Jimmy Golden and Ron Bass coming up next. All over the Tennessee profile, Ron Bass and Jimmy Golden. We'll be discussing the change in the structure of some issues taking place here in the Southeastern wrestling area with the arrival of Robert Fuller on the scene. We will be viewing right now in a moment some videotape of a match in which it was a cage escape match. Jimmy Golden taking on the Tennessee stud Ron Fuller, a match in which Fuller had won and was on his way out of the cage.
Whoa, you made a mistake right there when you said Ron Fuller won. Jimmy Golden won. I have beat Ron Fuller in every kind of match that you can possibly dream of, and I have beat him in the ultimate cage escape match, and there's proof right there on the film. You want to watch it?
Let's take a look at the film. Right. Here we see Fuller coming out of the cage. You were in the middle of the ring.
He hadn't won nothing. Brother Bass had come down to congratulate me on winning the match, and old Goofus there, crazy boy, jumped on Ron Bass for no reason. That's proof right there that he's a lunatic. He don't have any sense at all. Look at him right there, jumping on Brother Bass, so he's going to get exactly what he's got coming to him. I done wore him out in that cage match, and now me and Bass is going to give him a little taste of his own medicine. We're going to give him something he's been needing for a long time.
That's just an example, Charlie Platt. Everything that the Fullers does is all right. People say, yeah, go for it. All I did was come down there to congratulate Jimmy Golden, and the man viciously attacked me while my back was turned. So I says, okay, you burned me once, you're going to pay for it. So I go lock the cage, and we're going to do a little number on Ron Fuller. We're going to give him what you call a Texas education, my friend.
Yeah, a Texas education. I like them. I like them kind of educations. And let me tell you something else, Charlie Platt. As you see Brother Bass and Golden here doing their thing, just because Robert Fuller here, ain't nothing going to change. Me and Bass is going to go right on winning and kicking Fuller's butts just like we've been doing. And you're going to see the sneak come in here in just a second. The real sneak, the snake in the grass, the backstabber, Robert Fuller. Let me tell you something, Fuller. You're going to be facing us head up, brother. You ain't going to be sneaking up on nobody no more.
He's in the 10th grade right now, Jimmy. He's getting that education that he deserves. Before we're done with him, he's going to graduate with full colors, if you know what I mean.
Went to Texas school, didn't he?
He's going to get the degree right now. Bam.
Boy, you don't think that didn't pancake his head.
Right the old big, long geek is laying there quivering like a bowl of jelly. And now then, we're going to add just a finishing touch. Now, Ron Fuller, you will not touch me from behind again, will you, my man? We're going to educate you. You just don't mess with fire. If you do, you're going to get burnt just a little bit.
And here we see Robert Fuller making his way down to ringside. And
now let me tell you something. When that snake steps into the ring, he's got something in his hand. I don't know what it is. He's got a roll of nickels or a pair of brass nuts or something.
I've got a question. What is Robert Fuller even doing in the building? The man was never supposed to be anywhere around. The man snuck in from the back door somehow or another. They had it planned. There's snakes in the grass like we told you before, and you got to watch them at all times.
That question could go along. What is Ron Bass doing in that cage?
I told you already once before, Charlie Platt, I'm a good sportsman. I come down to congratulate a friend on winning a match, and I was attacked from behind. And now that I'm going to say this, he jumped us from behind, but what kind of man is he if he wants to face us? Come on, 2-on-2 when the bell rings. We don't want to have to be watching behind our backs. We want to see you when the bell rings, Robert Fuller. I want you out there, that long-necked geek brothers of yours, and let's just see what you can do.
Let's hear the comments of the Fuller brothers, Ron and Robert.
Well, I'd just like to say it's awful nice to have my brother back in this part of the country, and I know he's been gone a long time and wanting to come back anyhow. And we had good reason to be down there in that cage match, and I was mighty glad to see him when he showed up. And I would also like to say that there'll be no disqualification in this match that we've asked for. We asked for a tornado match with all four in the ring. You guys wanted to add the Texas Death Rules. Well, that's just fine with us, gentlemen, because we want to get it on. We want to get the job done, and we want to get you guys out of our hair and out of this part of the country. And this particular match, tornado rules, all four in the ring, death match, we ought to be able to handle it, don't you think, my man?
Yeah, I think we can handle it, because with the likes of Ron Bass and that stinking rat of a slime, Jimmy Golden, we can take you with any rules.
Comments of the Fuller brothers, Ron and Robert, and that should seem to take care of this situation as far as anyone interfering in a tornado match.
Texas Death, my friend. Anything goes, falls don't count, no disqualification. And Fullers, I want you to keep a lookout for this right here. All it's going to take is just one, and it's all over.
Hard punch. Don't you worry about it, Charlie Platt. You just stand back and watch Golden and Bass in action, baby.
As in any professional sport, competitors have styles and moves that set them aside from their opponents. Such is the case with Ken Lucas, a hold called the sleeper hold that you've been using throughout your career in professional wrestling, Ken. You're the Southeastern heavyweight champion. You've held many regional titles throughout the country, and I happen to remember this sleeper hold came oh so close. You put NWA World Heavyweight Champion Jack Briscoe to sleep and brought you so close to the world title.
I want to forget that match, Charlie. It cost me a lot of sleepless nights, that match right there, but that's all past and everything changes. A lot of people's asked me about the sleeper hold and asked me what it does. Well, Charlie, the sleeper hold cuts off the blood circulation from the neck into the brain. It's a very, very dangerous hold, and it's been successfully, for me, it's been super hold for me throughout my career. And there's a lot of gentlemen that does use the sleeper hold today. I don't think they've got it right down tack, because once the hold is applied and it's put on correct, there's very, very few men